Welcome to my channel, Tessa Kohler Art. I'm Tessa, and in this tutorial, I'm going to teach you and show you how to draw the whole figure. All the materials will be listed in the description box below. Everyone seems to stress over getting the initial sketch down, going from blank page to finished product, and the steps and processes it takes to get to that point, from point A to point Z. Other artists have said that the grid method is too challenging and too complex, but really the way I am showing you guys how to do this will help you to keep everything in the right spot and to not get lost in your drawing by simply numbering the boxes and the rows that you're creating. This is what is so nice about the grid. These boxes really accentuate the shapes. They force your brain and your eyes to actually see the shapes, to see the proportions, to see exactly how big or small or round or oval a form or structure is. This grid method will train your mind and your eye to translate what you're seeing, not just accurately, but in a way that is both realistic and in the style that you want it to be. If you're trying to aim for realism and you want to make sure you get these proportions correct and everything in the right place, it does take some time, but it's actually quite fun to get everything marked up and kind of playing connect the dots as you're going along in the drawing and getting the whole figure down. As you can see, I am taking scrap sheets of paper. You can really use anything that works for you. If you'd rather use a ruler, that's cool. I found it's easier just to use scraps of paper and less hassle. But what's nice about doing the scraps of paper is, you can draw all over it. You can make any marks that you feel are necessary to get as much information down as you need to. The really beautiful thing about the grid method that I absolutely love is I really am able to see angles a lot clearer, like this arm here. It's a certain angle. It's not just a straight cylinder, it's not just a singular shape. There's actually a lot of shapes going on in the arm and a lot of shapes going on in this leg here. And the grid makes those shapes really stand out. The grid method is essentially training your eye, brain, and hand to create a connection, to unify, to make sure that you are in fact getting everything correct and everything down in the right spot and in the right place in the drawing. The grid is really, I started off using the grid for portraiture and not necessarily the figure. In college, when I did figure drawing, I had to draw only how I saw these figures. I couldn't use the grid method. I couldn't trace. I couldn't do anything. I had to draw what it is that I saw. And if you have a hard time doing that, this grid method will be like a nice training session for your, like I said, your brain, your eyes, how you perceive what you're seeing, your hands, how you translate what it is you're seeing. And that's really what drawing and doing artwork is all about, but with your own signature style. You can draw as many lines or angles down the face and figure as you need to and use scrap paper and apply those lines to your reference photo and then translate that like so to your paper. Doing this just keeps everything in place, like I said. And the more information that you get on the paper, the better. So you can really approach this technique in any way that works best for you. Now this is the fun part, making your drawing alluring and three-dimensional and getting the value scale correct. I've switched mediums. I have switched to the charcoal pencil, the General's charcoal pencil, which I got from Dickblick Art Store. I love their charcoal pencils. I really like my drawings to be bold and to stand out and have a good contrast, but a very broad value scale. I found it's best to start with the darkest parts of the drawing. And in this case, I'm starting with the face and the features in their darkest areas and going in layers with my General's charcoal pencil and really getting that drama and boldness down. It helps to get those dark areas defined early on. But you can also, like I'm doing here, I do like to take some breaks here and there to add more definition in areas that might have gotten lost in the face or in the features, like you're seeing me do here. It's really just a process. It takes a lot of building up and maybe a little bit of restructuring and making sure that you're really capturing likeness. You want your sketch to be as realistic as possible from the get-go, because this process also takes time and it takes a while to get the value scale correct. You don't want to be too light, you don't want to be too dark, you just want to find that perfect broad range in values to bring your drawing to life. The number one mistake that I see beginning artists make is their value scale just isn't broad enough. There isn't enough contrast. Their dark areas need to be darker or some light areas need to be lighter. You really want to sharpen your eye so that you can see exactly how light or exactly how dark something is, a shape or a form is, and you want to capture that and maximize the tools that you're using and how you're translating those values. What helps me get the value scale correct is I take the reference photo and I import it into a photo editing app like Visco or Pixlr or whatever is easier to get to and quicker. And I turn the photo into a black and white. If it's color, I go from color to black and white. Or I will do slight editing with an existing black and white photo and make sure that I have a broad value scale to work with. To conclude this tutorial, I do want to say, aside from being really accurate and really detailed and striving for perfection, that's not what it is I'm trying to teach you. I'm trying to teach you how to train your eye and your mind to accurately perceive what it is you're seeing so that you can create the best artwork. But really, it's all about having fun, enjoying the process, learning different things about the different mediums that you're using, and just developing your brain and your mind and really being in the present moment and just enjoying what it is that you're doing. Remember, too, that you're not a copy machine. One artist said that a while back, and she was absolutely right. Humans are not copy machines. We shouldn't be focused on perfection, rather capturing realism the way that we see fits and suits us. But really, I want to stress that it's all about having a lot of fun and enjoying this detail work and getting the information down on the page, and not seeing it as a stressor or something that is just too confusing. There's really a lot of ways to skin a cat, especially when it comes to drawing. I realize that not everything works for everybody the same way, so that's why I wanted to create a simpler version of this grid method so that you can practice in your downtime or your spare time if you really want to improve your proportions and how it is you're translating the figures and shapes that you're seeing. The key word that I want to stress here is fun. and remembering to always have it whenever you're doing art, because for me, that's what it's really all about. And it's why I feel so lucky to be doing this as a career. And it's the finishing details when I really amp up the eyes and give those lots of drama and make those really alluring. I want my viewers to be very pulled in to the art piece. Thank you for stopping by and watching this video and following along if you did. If you're new, please be sure to like and subscribe so I can make this worth your while, and so you can also make it worth my while so I can keep teaching you guys awesome techniques in all kinds of mediums. This is what is so nice about the grid. These boxes really accentuate the shapes. They force your brain and your eyes to actually see the shapes, to see the proportions, to see exactly how big or small or round or oval a form or structure is.